If there's one thing that can be learned from the Miami Heat's decision to sign Nikola Jovic to a contract extension early, it's the fact that the team probably doesn't feel good about its chances of finding a big money player to spend money on during the 2026 free agency class. While Heat fans shouldn't be entirely turned off by the team's decision to sign Jovic, they must also come to grips with the reality of what it almost certainly means about next summer. It's the fact that the team isn't likely to be a big player in free agency. Sure, there's still a chance the Heat could find ways to spend, especially with the uncertainty revolving around Tyler Herro's future, but it's not likely that the Heat are going to approach next summer with the plans to spend big money in free agency. And that's not necessarily a bad thing if one of two specific things plays out this season. It's either that the Heat's young core takes a big step forward, or they're able to cobble their way back into relevance by trading for a star player. One is probably much more likely than the other, but they could both be on the table for the team heading into the season. The Heat may be banking on the trade market. It should still be considered a pipe dream for the Heat to land a star via trade, but that door is still not completely closed, especially considering that they're beginning to rebuild their asset chest heading into this season. However, the team should be focused on the development of their young core. That's what the focus of this season should be. That doesn't mean they still can't emerge as a competitive team in the Eastern Conference, but that their goal should be to see some tangible improvement from their young group. Whether it comes from Nikola Jovic, Kasparas Jakiscionis, Kel'el Ware, Davion Mitchell, Pelle Larsson, Jamie Jaquez Jr., or a combination of a couple or a few of those players, that should be the great hope for Heat fans this season. At this point, that's the better path forward than just blind hope that a star player will demand a trade to the Heat. Plus, as we've learned over the last couple of years, even if that were to happen, there's no guarantee the Heat would be able to close the deal. Now that it appears the Heat may have pulled their name from being big players in the 2026 NBA free agency period, there's so much depending on the continued development of their young core. The Miami Heat stepped back onto the court after a long, trying 5.5 months, returning to the scene of their last playoff appearance. For fans, the memories of last April's postseason may still sting, if they dare recall them at all. In the opening round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, the Heat faced off against the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers, led by the dynamic Donovan Mitchell. Despite a commendable effort in Game 1, where Miami appeared to have a fighting chance, the series quickly spiraled out of control. The Heat were ultimately outmatched, losing the final two games by a staggering margin of 92 points. A season to forget. No player on the Heat emerged unscathed from that series. Star players like Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo struggled to make an impact, while younger talents such as Kel'el Ware and veteran Andrew Wiggins failed to turn the tide. The coaching staff, too, came under scrutiny, unable to devise a strategy that could turn the momentum in their favor. As the final buzzer sounded, the Heat headed into the offseason with their fans' frustrations morphing into apathy, reflected by dwindling attendance at the Casillas Center. A fresh start. Fast forward to Monday night. The Heat are set to host the Milwaukee Bucks for a preseason matchup at 7:30 p.m. While this game won't count in the standings, it carries significant weight for a team eager to rebuild trust with its fanbase. This preseason marks a shift for Miami, as they emerge from a spirited mini-camp with a younger roster and a promising addition in guard Norman Powell. However, the Heat are currently grappling with a series of guard injuries that may affect their lineup. Tyler Herro is sidelined, along with Davion Mitchell, Terry Rozier, and Pelle Larsson. The importance of competition. Though the outcome of this preseason game may not hold any real stakes, the importance lies in the Heat's ability to compete. A strong performance could help cleanse the bitter memories of their last playoff appearance, signaling a renewed commitment to the game and to their supporters. The path to redemption begins now, and for the Miami Heat, every moment on the court counts as they strive to transform the narrative from a painful exit to a hopeful resurgence. According to Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, the Golden State Warriors are eyeing a trade for Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat. The San Francisco team is closely monitoring the 28-year-old center situation, making him one of Golden State's targets for the trade deadline, February 5th. Sources say Benjamin Adebayo is one of the players at the top of the Warriors' list of potential trade targets should he express a desire to leave the Miami Heat, Siegel revealed. According to the journalist, Jonathan Kuminga's recent contract extension is linked to this interest. After all, the young winger can be traded to another team starting January 15th. Therefore, he would be in the Warriors' package for Adebayo. There are several options for GM Mike Dunleavy and the Warriors to consider over the next 4 months. Obviously, Joe Lacob, the franchise owner, and the organization will always be looking for the best names available for trade, the journalist concluded. After several off-season talks, Kuminga reached an agreement with the Warriors. The youngster will receive $48.5 million over the next 2 seasons. However, the 22-year-old forward isn't expected to stay in San Francisco for long. According to ESPN's Shams Charania, the team will explore destinations for Kuminga once he becomes eligible for a trade. Adebayo, meanwhile, has a contract with the Florida team until 2029. Over the next 4 seasons, he will receive $202.4 million in salary. An 8-season NBA veteran, the 28-year-old center has already played 567 games for the Heat. His averages during that period are 18.1 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. With the departure of Jimmy Butler, Adebayo has become the Miami team's technical reference. Siegel also said that Giannis Antetokounmpo and Trey Murphy remain dream trade targets for the Warriors. The Greek star's future with the Milwaukee Bucks is uncertain. The power forward's potential departure could be a result of a weak roster. After all, the Bucks aren't among the favorites in 2025-26, so the star could ask to be traded. Trey Murphy, on the other hand, would be a more viable addition. However, the New Orleans Pelicans forward has a 4-year contract. Thus, the 25-year-old will earn $112 million in salary through 2029. Antetokounmpo will earn approximately $175 million through 2028. Follow us on social media. All NBA information is available on Jumper Brazil's social media channels. Analysis, stats, and tips are included. Check out all our content, but don't forget to follow us there. Want to stay up to date on everything happening in the world's best basketball league? Turn on notifications in the right-hand corner of your screen and don't miss a thing.